Hey there! So, a summer unit in winter? Depends on where you live, I guess. Lynette EX is a magical breaker and general magical support. She is here to debuff elemental resistance in every category, implant all magic weaknesses, raise active magic buff limit, and give 50k of damage cap. Some people were saying she is like a magic Tiziano for Oswald, but I don't necessarily agree. Let's see her passives. She has a latent power which gives access to 3 skills, letting you focus down a couple of weaknesses, apply implants, and rest downs. This ability also shares shields and can break, so we can break without using implants. And you'd want to break with Lynette, since she applies passive 10% elemental rest down. By the way, that's good for rainbow teams, and she also resets cooldown for her latent power. I assume the devs want you to use Lynette to constantly pump out the relevant implants during break, like you can do with Tiziano. Sadly, we are at a point when these implants will get eaten too quickly. Even in rainbow teams, you maybe could handle Oswald by himself by relying on Fire Lightning implant, but then what do you do with Ice? Ori is a much better enabler for this playstyle, I think. And then Lynette doesn't even want you to get rid of all the implants, so you are encouraged to not use abilities which pierce other elemental weaknesses. This passive is one of the reasons to bring Lynette, since 50k damage cap is a good bonus, and it looks easy enough to activate with ult. But in reality, with the modern elemental DPS, I doubt we'll have that much of an opportunity to utilize it. I'll talk about it later. And here is the ult. 15% elemental rest down stands out immediately, a very rare debuff. Great for any magic team and even more so for rainbow teams. The implants enable the previous passive immediately, so they are useful. The Nego move is something I wouldn't use unless there are no implants, because it would eat them all up extremely fast. Lynette also has a buff on a countdown. It's universally useful. As for proper attack skills, Lynette isn't a DPS, but she does have whole 6 skills of each element with a unique additional effect, just pick what you need. Her EX ability looks like a damage one, since she implants each of the elemental weaknesses and then immediately uses them up, but I guess it's better to use it as a shield shave move, since it keeps implants intact. So we looked through each skill, but it's probably still hard to say if she is worth it, right? So let's look at the closest magical meta team, the Ice team. It will be available by late summer. Is there a place for Lynette EX in this team? Here we got 4 DPS you probably wouldn't want to throw away. Rondo, Casti and Oswald all do follow-ups, which obviously add up quite a lot of damage. The most replaceable among them is Eltrix, but only for another proper Ice DPS. Then we have Shana, which you could try to replace, but it won't always work. Then Neha or Ayla, they are generally interchangeable. If you don't need Neha's ice damage buff, then going with Ayla is ultimately better, since he should give a stronger ult buff, I think. Avita will be a must-pull unit. She helps you make better use of pets and has other useful things. Like that, we have a vacant spot here, and you have some options on who to put here. In general, Lynette EX is useful here too, but only for her ult rest down. Here's why. These 4, despite being DPS, also have buffs and debuffs. Most importantly, Ice rest debuffs. You can see what resistance categories they cover on screen. Lynette could add her own 15% to the ult, but using her as a breaker to add 10% passive rest down, I don't think that would be a good move, since you end up missing out on a bunch of follow-ups this turn. And your passive, which needs at least 7 weaknesses for the damage cap, will also have a solid chance of being unused, because Ronda and Casti hits 3 additional weaknesses besides Ice, so you are left with only 2 implants intact. So in the best case, you'd need your enemy to have 5 weaknesses, which are not fire and lightning, and that's quite a tight condition. So really, in this team, Lynette is going to only bring ultras down, which really sucks. You could just bring Nia to get a whole 3rd break turn, or Agnia for her damage cap buffs, or Signa or S-Light for their ult. Lynette EX is also worth mentioning. She can do a lot in magical teams. Did you notice the pass action animation, by the way? I'll try to do more of those. As for the other magic teams, Hikari EX will eat all implants. Dragon Quest magic DPS are mid as far as I know. Kazan is sort of fine, but he is right before Ice units. And after that, somewhere in the autumn I think, there is Mr. Setzer from Final Fantasy VI collab, who I think does similar things but better. And he also gives 50k damage cap. All in all, I'd say skip her. She came out too late, sadly. You can utilize her to her fullest potential, either with Ori in Rainbow damage comp, where you don't consume the implants as fast, or in a single damage type comp. where you consume only one implant type, and no light piece or other elements type stuff, but such comps are not nearly as good obviously. Thanks for watching.